Greetings, everyone. It is Gleekon, and I'm back again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, we read about the Red Dragonflight, but through the lens of Dungeons and Dragons, as we wrap up the World of Warcraft, the role-playing game sourcebook material in Chapter 7 of Dark Factions, the final book in the extensive, exhaustive collection of sourcebooks. We have also been doing similarly exhaustive playthrough of World of Warcraft Classic. And on that last episode, we finished our trifecta of heroes that were wrapping up the Red Ridge Mountains with Maleficent, and I've been disconnected. She finished off the elite quests, turned them in, and then made her way to the wetlands. So now we're going to flip back over to the Horde, so stay a while and listen as we take old Muln. This is our tauren shaman. Once upon a time, he was sort of a tank protection shaman, and now he's switched over to a restoration shaman. Now, he was deep in the Call of Water series, and we're still in there. I'm now noticing that we have this. We have this corrupt manifestation. We need to go to the Silver Pine Forest. Ay. So we have a bit of work cut out for us. We have to... Alright, so we're going to have to take a little bit of a journey. My deepest apologies that I didn't get some of this legwork done ahead of time. But you know what? We will just do it together. We'll catch up and go. I do remember that we had three characters that were journeying through the Barrens. One of them is still doing that. That's our orc warrior. He's now questing his way through the remainder of the Barrens quests, which are in the southern Barrens. We'll kind of take a peek at the map here as we hop on this flight path. We have to fly over to Borgrimmar so we can take the Zeppelin, because it looks like we're going to have to go into Silver Pine Forest with this quest. First, let's take a peek there. As we land in the Undercity, we'll then take a flight over to the Sepulchre, and behind the Sepulchre, somehow we're going to have to make our way through the mountains and go to the Call of Water. That quest says, west of the Sepulchre, you will find a shrine. It doesn't really specifically say, but we are going to take the bracers with the remaining drops of Brian's potion, that's this guy, and place them on a brazier. So, okay. Sounds like a plan. Here's some operating manual pages. I think that's from Ashenvale, so those might end up getting trashed. I haven't scrolled into them. I can't do that right now. So as we were saying, our orc hero, he is in the southern part. He's done a lot of them, actually. If I was going to spitball a guess, I would say he maybe only has 2 quests left, and then he's going to be venturing into the Thousand Needles, which looks to have some quests. They are probably going to be a little bit tough for him in the beginning, and then that's just how his life is going to be, so he'll be tough to fight his way through. Now, we also had... while these characters were done, we have a rogue as the other one. Now, she did some rogue quests. Hers, we managed to get done in one session. It required some running around. I know there was some journeying that had to be done that took her all the way to Tauren Mill. And I can't quite right now off the top of my head remember where the other one was. Maybe it was somewhere down there. I can't quite remember. Also, Varrock, our warrior, he had a warrior quest or 2 left, so he's messing around with that also. But his has a lot of steps, and he won't be finishing it anytime soon. I think there's some dungeons involved. He's probably going to have to go do Shadowfang Keep or something like that. So he's got some work cut out. But when we did Mulns, there's just so much. We had to go up into Ashenvale and fight around. We had to come do some things down here. I think he also had to go to Tauren Mill, and then once he turned it all in, now they want us to go back to Silver Pine. So it was a bit much, but he is going to be picking up his staff and fighting his way into Stonetalon, where he's just got all sorts of little nifty quests waiting for him. I am eager to start questing in that zone. I did do some off-camera work with that with my other couple of trolls. One of those is also a shaman, but I don't think we did this Call of Water because we saw that there was just so much to it. My wife, who is the restoration shaman, she just kind of was like, oh, we'll just kind of take the pieces as they are convenient. We're not necessarily going to run around and do all this. So we haven't quite finished it off. I don't think we've done really much of any of it. We did maybe the first couple steps, but she hasn't picked up. I don't think we've done the Ashen Veil part. We definitely haven't gone back and done the Silver to Pine part. So we'll get there when we get there. But Muln is eager, and I'm eager. If I'm going to be doing some dungeons, I really want those water totems. I believe that they're pretty important if you're going to be healing as a shaman. Alright, so let's... Oh my, that was a bad drop. Lived. Okay, good. Now what does he have? He has Purge. He has just 2 heals. Quicker and a shorter. I do have this Poison Cleansing Totem, but it is a... that's one that requires the water. Our level. We're at 23, so maybe shortly he'll hit 24, but yes, he's a little bit lower because you don't get a lot of XP when you're just running back and forth across the world. More and more, I am looking forward. Now, we still have a long road ahead of us, but more and more, I am looking forward to when we pick up World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King. Now, I originally wasn't planning on doing any Lore Master quests, and there was an outcry. So there were some good points that were made, and I flipped the switch in my head and decided, okay, I will do the Lore Master quests, and I will focus on re-going through all of the quests in this game once we on Wrath of the Lich King Classic servers. So there will be a little bit of redundancy on that, but we will see the journey from a different perspective because this is a learning process, and there's so much. The world of Warcraft is so large, and it can be played in so many different ways that it's almost to be expected that there would be a learning process. I don't remember which one of these things is.
Hey there, cutie. You looking for a ride to Gromgol?
Hey.
I hear it gets mighty
Watch it
down
there.
in those
Eyes
jungles.
up here.
Maybe I could join you for a short vacation. Show you a real jungle cat.
Of course, there's no danger in everything catching flames and exploding like a huge helium bomb. This baby will get you to Undercity faster and safer than any boat.
This
and the
baby
view is truly breathtaking. Speaking of breath, smoking is not allowed while on board the Zeppelin, and fire spells are banned from being cast during the trip.
So there are some interesting parts of this voiceover mod. It's cool. It's certainly better than, you know, I'm no professional voice artist, so it's got some better points. So and some of the voices are quite good because it's even. I do believe I read in the description that it's sort of like a Chat GPT algorithm, a bot sort of that reads the script, and sometimes you can really tell because on proper nouns it has a hard time pronouncing them with any sort of intuition. And then there are just some things where whatever bot, it's just obviously just changing itself an octave or whatever, but I like some of my things, even if they might be silly. I like giving the kind of city slicker goblin voice, even though it gets redundant since I only have so many voices in my range. There's only so many ways I can do a goblin, there's only so many ways I can do a gnome, and etc. But there's also ones that it doesn't even try, like it will not do a troll. So I guess the chatbot just can't handle like a Caribbean style accent. Alright, so you know, I tried and failed again last week. My goal 2 weeks ago, so I went back to the office 2 weeks ago, and I've been working like a dog. So because of that, my schedule has changed and there's less freedom. But I wasn't really, even with the more freedom from working from home, I wasn't really making any more videos. I kind of just got sucked into playing a bunch of other games. I've been playing a lot of Diablo 4, and it's enjoyable. But yeah, and I just when I was at home, I'm able to stay a little bit active. By no means, I'm not a gym rat. I don't do anything like that, but I like to at least get my steps in. I like to hit the 15,000 a day mark minimum, and I just like to stay moving. And while I wasn't super amazing over the summer, I was worried because my job, at the way that my job worked before this year, before I got my current job title, I was able to do a lot of moving around, just going from place to place. So I would frequently be able to, come home from work with, a good 8 to 10,000 steps. And now I am just chained to a desk a lot more. I've got, it's kind of moving up the ranks. It's arguably I'm doing very important work now. But it's and it's a lot more niche. It's a lot more specialized. There are very few places, very few people, probably in the entire region. There's a handful of people that are skilled and trained to do what I do, and probably one of the best. I try to stay out of talking about specifics, and that's intentional. One, because it's smart, because of the nature of my job, to keep a separation from work and play. Not that I say anything controversial, and I talked once with where I was answering, messaging or whatever, doing comments with Kazi, my number one commenter, and I always greatly appreciate his input. But we had kind of an aside once where I was talking about some of the more famous World of Warcraft streamers, and Asmongold is one who, again, I do not hate Asmongold. Being older, as you can say, if you look at the gray in my beard, I'm an older guy in my 40s, and I just missed that generational kind of. We need to fly over to the sepulcher. That this whole streaming and posting, I think it's cool, and I'm vain enough that I wanted to do it myself, but I just never really got into that. So when I watch videos, it's kind of funny because I don't know if ironic is quite the right word for it, but it's funny that I put this material out here, and I'm not typically, when I go to YouTube to watch anything, almost every time I'm typically watching it for informational purposes, not for the personality of the person. However, I do listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that, so I understand the appeal of this type of content. Also, this show, more than 50% of the episodes are me reading, and I'm not a book on tape person. I've listened to a couple that I've gotten as gifts, but I have always liked to read, and at some point in time, I don't remember when, it was probably around 10 years ago or so, I decided that if I really wanted to absorb a book, that I should read it out loud. And that was when, I've always been a bit of a ham, and so I use those as opportunities to work on my voices, and some I do better than others. And my wife is a complete doll, and she, one of the things that we do together as in our various different hobbies is we will read to one another. So lately we've not been doing that. We're doing our journey through World of Warcraft Classic together. But one of our big hobbies is we would do a jigsaw puzzle and we would take turns. One of us would work on the puzzle, the other of us would read. We'd read a couple chapters in a book, and she doesn't do the voices like me, but she likes it. She's always very complimentary. There's just little things that she's always been very complimentary and encouraging of me about. One of them is my voice work that I do when I read. Another is I'm not I'm not an amazing singer at all, but I do enjoy singing. And I don't know how I'm supposed to get through here. And she's always very encouraging about that. She loves it when I sing, and maybe one of these times you'll get me out of my shell. You can, I'll I don't know if I would say it's a treat or not, but I'll perhaps sneak some singing on there. But I don't know how the heck I'm supposed to get back. I do like to sing. But the point of all that was, I was not consistent with this show and what I claimed. I was like, my goal is I'm gonna for sure, I'm gonna make these more episodes. I'm gonna come home. Well, then, like I with this new desk job, I have realized, like, man, I'm gonna need to put an active effort if I'm gonna cut the few pounds that I've recently gained above my normal, and if I'm going to keep hitting my 15 to 20,000 step count that I like to hit, I'm gonna need to be, it's gonna have to be intentional. So that stuff has come out of my time, and these episodes that are an hour long or whatever, when I make the little 10-minute ones, it's not a big deal, or 20 minutes, whatever. But I really have to plan and set some time aside, and I just haven't been good. I want to be better. My goal is to make at least one episode per day, which I used to make a lot more. That's how we got to be over 1,000. I just have a lot of excuses is what I have. A bunch of excuses, but I'm going to try and be better. So I did one yesterday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is easier for me because my wife goes to work. So then when I'm sitting at the end of the evening by myself anyway, why not? I have no freaking clue. Maybe I've got to go down that way and come around from the bottom. This is what you get. Normally I would just look this right up like on Wowhead or something like that, but I'm not giving in. I guess I'm gonna have to come through here and maybe work my way down the coast. Let's try that. I was really hoping I'd just be kind of able to cut my way through the mountains, but it doesn't appear that that's an option. And this is what you get when you travel with me. It ends up not being about Warcraft. It ends up just me rambling, and I apologize. I know that's nowhere near as interesting as the Warcraft lore. So I want to apologize again for being flaky, for saying I'm going to do one every day, and I've only been making 4 or 5 a week. I'm still cranking out 4 to 5 a week, but I could be better, and I'm going to try. I'm a man of routines, so I just have to. It's funny in chat. I had a terrible dream that Blizz ruined Sylvanas. Yeah, so we're just gonna do my best to get in there, and I'm really looking forward to when we do World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King, because like I was saying, I've learned. So I would do this. I shouldn't have done this project so atypical from what I had originally planned. I should have just bit a bullet that I'm having to basically bite anyway, in terms of the impossibility of actually doing full every single nook and cranny completionist thing. On camera, because it's so time consuming. I have in one way or another done that in my life, and if you look at what's that? Not Guilds of WoW, Raid.io, and it kind of ranks you in other things. I've mentioned this before, I am on my server cluster. I am the number 2 ranked person, so there's one person out there more OCD than me, and I'm in like the top 100 or something in the world. So, or top 170 or somewhere around that. Top 200. For unique quests, that's one of the categories you can look at. You check that out sometime if you're into the stuff like me. Essentially, I have a little bit room for improvement, and it's some of these nooks and crannies that we're talking about. Look at that, how easy it was when I decided to just go. I can have it. Alright, so there's this thing. I don't know where. It says Brazier of Everfount. I believe, let's read the specific quest. It says, defeat the corrupt manifestation of water and places bracers. And I saw a couple as we walked up. Now, if we look at the actual quest lore, along the coast, you'll find a shrine that has become tainted with the plague. Spirits can no longer speak to our people. It'll be up to you to defeat the manifestation. Okay, should I mean, this has a clicking, like I could use it. Okay, I need this corrupt manifestation bracers. So where do I find that? How do I summon it? The spirits will no longer speak to our... Oh, do we have to use like one of these septas? Do I have a septa? I sure do.
It's too far away.
Do I have to be by this thing? Oh my goodness, if I have to have used it back here, I will cry. Oh, okay. Alright, so there's water elementals. There's a corrupt one. So we're gonna go ahead and hit this. Now, one thing I don't do is the... trying to remember what my rotation is, honestly. Alright, so we have the corrupt bracers now. While I'm waiting for that to wear off, do healing on myself. Okay. The brazier still reflects the ambient light from the area, and the flame shifts slightly as you move closer. The corruption along the hills seems to have kept its distance, and besides the missing components, the brazier looks prepared for the ritual to summon a cleansed manifestation of water. You place the bracers atop the brazier and then pour the remaining drops of Brian's potion into the flame. The drops crackle as they hit the flame, and you begin to incant the simple words Island taught. Light explodes as you finish the incantation. The sounds of the water drops hitting the flame have died down, and your senses are overcome as the corrupt spirits around you are destroyed. Okay, so now we must speak to this minor manifestation of water. I'm guessing that is. It shows right here that it is. He's still appearing. Okay. I was gonna say I'm freaking out, man.
Thanks to you, thanks to the shamans. Corruption ebbs, but life continues to wane. Up to shamans to protect life. Take shot and give life. Give life and understand what is life. Corruption stops life. You protect and give life with water's power.
I can read it like this.
You can protect and give life with water's power.
Alright, so bring this back to Island, Water, Sea, and the Barrens, and I will get the Healing, Stream Totem, and a Water Totem. So I'll get 2 spells. We can hearth back to the crossroads, so that is hecka useful. Obese Racist is that person's name. Alright, so I believe that, yeah, they're over there, so we do have to make a quick little flight over the Ratchet. So this has taken over 20 minutes of our... So almost half of our episode is tied into this, which is a shame. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys think about
fly quickly through the hot Baron's air.
About the actual hardcore servers that are about to populate. I don't know how I feel. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, so they're saying, what's the point of the guild? I'd rather do it solo on a non-hardcore server, but that's me. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's the point of playing any game hardcore? You know, whatever. I can see the appeal. It's a nice challenging level. It ups the stakes. It adds some adrenaline. It's like that junkie that now freaking mainlines whatever they're into. We're mainlining World of Warcraft. I get it. I play hardcore Diablo as well. I have a non-hardcore character, of course, that I just try to complete the season with. But I spend equally as much time working on my hardcore characters, and it's fun. It's fun as heck. It makes you be more careful and strategic. You can't just mindlessly do things. You have to plan and safeguard. And you know the great thing about World of Warcraft and about Diablo, as opposed to like a Twitch skill game, is everything in this game can be planned for. Everything in Diablo can essentially be planned for. If you die, you did something wrong. You were impatient. You were sloppy. Same thing in this game. If you're playing hardcore and you die, you were impatient. You were sloppy. If you just methodically clear your way, over-level yourself, like there are ways to keep yourself, to mitigate the risk factors in this game. And Diablo 4, I mean, sure. Can you get unlucky with bad spawns in this game? Sure, but again, almost impossible if you're playing carefully. Now Diablo has more randomness built in, because you could just walk into a room with an unlucky pack of mobs that spawn and they all have just the right affixes and you just get the bad RNG. But Diablo, you can mitigate that by always taking the safety precautions, having the life potions and the escape scrolls ready.
You've come further than many, adventurer. Respect the elements around you and you shall fare far greater than most.
Okay, I'm going to do my voice a little deeper than that for hers. I like Tauren to be lower octave.
You've returned. Splendid. I went your journey to Silverpine. Did it take you long? It is hard for me to tell if you were successful there because so much of the land has become corrupt. Its stench overwhelms any good that you might have done, but small successes are sometimes as important as large ones. Purifying the water there was instrumental for you and for all shamans.
This is the proof I asked for. You've done well, adventurer. I am pleased to be the first to congratulate you and give you this, your water totem. Use it well and good luck. Your next test will not be for some time, so learn your lessons well. Pure water will not only give life back to those who are injured, but can have many other effects. I suggest you seek out a shaman trainer when you have the time. They might have other spells for you to learn.
Okay.
May the eternal...
I will, okay, but I'm not going to really mess with it that much. But now I can cast the old poison cleansing totem. Let's open that sack. Sure. Alright, so we can actually freaking start questing, and I am so happy that I have healing stream totem. Fantastic. Okay, kinda. Yeah, it's sort of. I don't know how I want to, because that's offensive. Courage is moving an enemy. That's really a stripping of the debuffs. Okay, so yeah, we'll move the purge up there because that's a little bit different. That is actually sort of removing a buff from an enemy. All right, so we can finally make our gosh dang journey over to Stonetalon. It did take almost half our episode. We are you know, it is what it is. But hey, we have healing stream totem now. I love that. I have a restoration shaman. Shaman is in, and I may have mentioned this before, but in retail, shaman is one of, if not my complete favorite class to play. I love all the specs. I love elemental. I love the restoration shaman. I don't know how much time I've actually spent playing enhancement shaman, come to think of it, on retail. But I just really like it. I really like the Demon Hunter class too, particularly the tank, and I like rogues in all their iterations. Although, I've never been the hugest subterfuge rogue fan because I've never been a huge PvPer. So those are all things I'll sort of kind of mess with as time goes on. We'll see what we shall see. I'll do them. I'll pick specs whenever we get to retail, and we're gonna need at least one of every class. I will pick specs for all of them because
Yo!
I'll pick specs that I haven't really done. Some of them I can't do that. So like Paladin, I have I have max, well, not max anymore because they're sitting at 60. I haven't maxed out most of my characters. I just have not been, and it's not a knock on Dragonflight. I don't think Dragonflight's inherently not bad, but just not into it right now. I'm not into the grind. There's, what are you gonna do? There's really, right now, there's not a lot to do other than do that new mega dungeon and run mythics. Just get your gear up. I'm pretty much maxed out all the factions. I think I need 1 or 2 more renown ranks for the mole people, whatever they're called. And then there's a daily series of dailies you can do to unlock a racing snail. I used to be religious about that kind of stuff. And, I pop on once every 2 or 3 days, and probably 3 to 4 times a week, and do one of the racing quests, work on my dragons. I have 4 out of 5 baby dragons, which is another thing on there, and I'm working on the last one, which is green, I think. I have the black, blue, red, bronze. It just takes a few days to get each one, 3-4 days, something like that. And then what? And again, I think I'm like 18 out of 20 renown on the thing, on the moles. I have all the underground, like, racing and maxed out, and all the little new dragons, and I have all the dig maps you can get. So if you've been playing retail, you're kind of familiar with some of that stuff. If not, we'll do it in the future, but it's just whatever. I just don't feel like, not into it. I just don't want to do the daily. Now Diablo is the same kind of thing. They package it as seasonal, kind of like classic Season of Mastery, but there's just something about that experience which I don't love it. I don't like it's like the phone game experience, the mobile game. I don't like that being pressured to play a game to stay abreast of the top of the top of the ladder of that game, and if you don't log in daily and you don't grind, there's a kind of an elitist looking down the nose at people. You can't do some of the content, and so on and so forth. So with the seasonal stuff with Diablo, in its current iteration, it's not too bad. It's because the stuff that you unlock, you do have a time limit, so it is a push to strive, but it's fairly easy to, if you just play a little bit every day, and I'm talking about maybe half an hour every day, which that could be, that could be considered a lot. You're fine. You'll unlock all the stuff. But if you pay for the season pass, that's the kind of thing, because then you feel like, well, I paid for the season pass, so if I don't unlock all 90 levels, I'm sort of wasting my money. And the only good thing is it's pretty much all cosmetic. There's a couple buffs you can unlock, but very few. They're mostly like buffs that will increase the drop rate on gold or increase your XP rate. What happens for me with Diablo, where I'm kind of hitting a bottleneck, is when you get to the higher levels, it is such a grind, and they have these things called nightmare dungeons, and it's just a grind. And I feel like I used to play the heck out of Diablo 3, and the grind was different. You were more just doing whatever you wanted, and Paragon points were sort of meaningless, and there was a never-ending cap, it felt like. and you just were hoping for good RNG, and you could essentially max out. And now there is a cap. Paragon points are crazy important, but getting them is a grind. All right, let's do our quest. We're finally here.
The Goblin-run venture company moved into the Stonetalon Mountains, chopping down trees and burning huge stretches of forest. The spirits of this place are nearly blind with pain and rage. We must stop the venture company. Head northwest beyond the Great Wood Vale and into the Windshear Crag. You will find the goblins and their servants at work. Show them the Horde will not allow the exploitation of Stonetalon. Show them in the language they best understand. Violence.
That's the language that goblins best understand. I would say money, maybe.
The Grimtotem clan raided my village and killed most everyone. I killed all I could, but barely escaped with my life. Adventurer, all I wish now is that more of them are dead. You will find them just to the west of here.
Alright, so this is actually cool from a lore perspective. So, one, we did some, kind of lore as we wrapped up the Call of Water, so that's neat as they talk about the corruption of the land. And this, just right off the bat, you should look at the levels of the quests, look at how it's right at the entrance, and just think to yourself, holy crap, the Horde has, even though the Alliance can technically quest in the Stonetalon Mountains, it is a pain in the butt, whereas coming through it as a Horde, it's natural, it's a smooth progression, it's a great place to quest in, and it's not a big land at all, it's one of the smaller zones. And they just give us a nice breadcrumb in there. And the storyline is cool. We are getting to see the conflict between the Horde and the Grimtotem. Even though Magatha Grimtotem, the leader of the Grimtotem clan, is just chopping it up, sitting in Thunder Bluff, her tribe that she leads is causing serious harm. And this is our first little chance to kill some of these people. We also have continued conflict against the Venture Co., who, again, differentiate themselves eventually from greater goblin kind, but for now we have a little bit of racism toward them. Alright, so we're going to... I believe the best rotation is to hit a lightning bolt because it's a slower, longer range cast. And as they run, we hit them with a fire totem, and then I guess I could, I don't know, drop a... There we go, that's kind of good. And then we'll just sort of go on. We just have some light killing to do. This is perfect because this character's level's a little bit lower, and then I'm going to kite it back just a little bit. Probably pull a second one off, but I don't really want to. And then we are going to get that fire shooting at them, and then they will most likely run. Yeah. Cool. So, I don't know. We got this barbaric axe, two-handed axe. Can't use it. I'm a staff wielder. But we have to kill 14 guys, and then we also have to kill some loggers. And we should be able to do that. We should be able to get some... They're nice and densely populated. Like, this is a more modern take. The quests that people like. Alright, so we have to kill... There's a mercenary. Let's see what we got. So we're going to drop down another fire totem. And let's start casting. We still have one of our lightning totems. I probably could... Oh, that guy's not even worth XP. Okay. Again, let's pop these bad boys. Pop these bad boys. Oh, lightning. Okay, get that fire totem going. Already gonna die. Fantastic, there's another mercenary. Let's get that guy. So this is a nice, easy quest. Oh, he's an axe thrower, aka a jerk. Oh, I don't even see my fire totem died. The fire totem is not the totem for me. Maybe I want to do a strength totem, because I don't have to worry. I don't think as much about the defense. So maybe we'll work on the strength of earth totem. Let's kind of see. I could do both if I really wanted to. Yeah, these guys aren't even worth XP. Thanks for throwing that at me, jerk. Cool. That was very cool. I am happy you did that. Okay, so things are getting a little bit dicey on my... Alright, so now we just need 7 more ruffians. So I'm gonna hold off on the totems for a little while and just hit my 1-2 punch here. Now the lightning shield is important. I didn't need that. Yeah, that's really, it's a deceptively huge amount of your DPS. Alright, we passed the halfway mark on this quest. We got 6 to go. Mercenaries, there's another ruffian. And whatever, I feel like my girl here is, oh, my dude, he's not a girl. He's tough enough that I'll be okay even if I mean, ugh. I do have 10 glasses of milk. So. There, let's go. Oh my, no, it's still there for 7 seconds. I think if I just get these two and then keep the lightning shield, I'll be taking them out. I'm gonna lose my ability to see these elementals soon. Alright, so we gotta find 4 more ruffians. Mercenary up there. They're pretty low level though, so they're not gonna aggro from a very close range. Far range, whatever. That is a ruffian, but sorta kinda. Sorta kinda mushed in there with some, with just a bad crowd. You don't want that. There's a ruffian. Come on, mate. Shoot you with lightning. Going. This is the second rough. No, this is a mercenary. Okay, using up a pretty solid amount of my lightning shield, but all right, we only need 2 more. There's a BG1. I love a BG1. Oh, they're talking about Baldur's Gate. Because, and here's how I know. Absolutely, although all the NPCs were great, like Jazeera, but Minx being crazy was awesome. Right there, anybody that's played Baldur's Gate. I did see that there was a Baldur's Gate 3. I used to be a big-time reader of the Game Informer magazine. I do recommend it, but then they did something where they basically made it to where it's very difficult to get the paper subscription, and this was like my toilet read. So I used to read the paper version, and that would be how I would stay abreast of all the gaming stuff. And they took it from me. So I also was a big time. I would go to GameStop and support my local GameStop and buy my games from there, despite the fact that it's just as easy to get them online. And GameStop owns the Game Informer magazine. It's just a branch of that. And, you know, they're trying to cut costs by making it digital only, and I don't know the logistics. I don't know the exact cost-cutting measures, but I will tell you that they lost a customer in me. I would religiously update my Game Informer. I would pay extra for it. I would keep my subscription going, even if I didn't buy if I only bought like 1 or 2 games that year. I never used my points. I was never using any of the other benefits of the Game Informer subscription. I just kept it going for the magazine, $20 a year or whatever for the magazine. And now I don't. I've let it lapse, and I have no intention of doing it, and if I want a new game, I just order it online. So, I mean, I might just be an anomaly, and I might be the cost of doing business, and they'll be fine, but I can tell you that much, that they certainly lost my business, and I mean, I might only buy half a dozen games a year, but they lost my few $100 a year. But I did hear about that Baldur's Gate 3 is where that little rant came from.
Adventurer, I thank you, but I will never forget what the Grimtotem have done to my village.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy.
Adventurer, you've done a fine job killing Grimtotem. If you dare, Grundig Darkcloud and his personal band of brutes is by far the worst of the lot. He was the one who led the brutal attack on my village. You will find him in Grimtotem Post a bit further up the path to the west. Kill him, and I will be forever grateful.
Okay. Sounds like a plan, my man. So we are going to kill him. He will be forever grateful. Gotta take a peek. It says here, oh, we have to kill the brutes as well. Not just him. We are killing brutes. And also there's, oh yeah, there's a rescue. I actually screwed this up. When I did this with Milady, it's so easy, and killing the brutes and everything and making your way there and killing that dude is it's no sweat, and everything, as you've seen so far, everything's been chill. And then you do the escort quest, and the escort quest is chill, and then at the very end, like, this just mob pack spawns, and they just descend on the NPC. So if you do not have a plan to do something to suddenly grab all the aggro, they just freaking come instantly kill her. And we had to, so because of that, we had to do it twice. Alright, so we're continuing through this little camp. Now we're going to kill 6 brutes and their leader, and then we will pop an escort quest while we're there. I was thinking about playing Baldur's Gate 3 for one main reason, and that main reason is that the cat's name is the Rake. Oxeye Hardcore. I think I saw Rake before. It's a pet. Whoa. Baldur's Gate 3 is 105 gigs. But I have a really, I have a good friend, and as I've gotten older, we just don't game as much, but man, we used to game the heck out of things. We played a lot of Baldur's Gate Online together, Baldur's Gate 1, Neverwinter Nights, a lot of games like that. But our favorite in the couch co-op days, and I'm talking 20 years ago, was Champions of Norath. And I wish they would make a reboot or something of that. Champions of Norath, oh my gosh, we played that game so much, and I love it. Straight up love that game. We just had so much fun. I don't know what it was. It was, I mean, it's an isometric top-down kind of quest, so it's very similar to Diablo. And unfortunately, my buddy just never really got into Diablo. We could play that together. I'd love to play it with him. He's also... He's not a... He's like the kind of guy that's like, I will wait for, you know, life to come to me when it comes to gaming systems, whereas I'm like an early adopter. The second that something comes out, I'm like, I need the new system, I need the updates, I need a new game. I'm waiting for release, I'll pre-order, I'll drop them extra things for the extra Elite Edition, blah, blah, blah. And he is not like that.
Thank you for rescuing me.
You're welcome.
We must leave quickly before they discover that I am free. Please escort me to Camp Aparaje. From there, I know my way. My father, Makaba Flathoof, will be desperate to know that I am safe.
Gotcha. On it, girl. Let's go before they find out I am free. Alright, so Kaya, or Kaya, she gave me a hard time. So let's go ahead and kill this brute, or not. But yeah, it's not like she runs, and she's not like some of the other people that we have where they just aggro freaking everybody. It's not like that. It's just, you'll see. You'll see what I'm talking about, because I will show you. She is... Oh, by the way, we killed Grundig Darkcloud, in case you didn't notice. That's who we were killing. Oh, don't do it. I think it'll be okay, because she'll... One thing about Classic, it's like, they don't care about you getting too far ahead. They just don't want you to let them die. That's what it's about, is... I think they're a little bit hardier in some of the retail quests, but they, I think, like, they'll phase out. You'll fail the quest if you get too far away from them, and I don't really know. I don't think that happens nearly as much in Classic. So this is what I meant, like, it's a casual stroll, you're just fighting 1 or 2 guys at a time, the mobs are pretty easy, but she will get to a clearing. I kind of think we wrap around, so I think we have a bit more. And then my plan is to maybe put down a Fire Nova Totem and just try my best to hit some insta casts on what I can, and then,
Well met.
you know, what can I mean, what can I even do for her, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I could do the healing stream totem. Yeah, I could drop my totems. But anyway, so I really miss playing those games with my friend, and he lives, we live on the opposite coast. I live on the East Coast, he lives on the West Coast. I used to live on the West Coast for a long time. So when I moved out here, we would do online gaming for a while, and you know, life happens. It's been 15 years, so as things go on, we just played less and less, and he really got into Dragon's Dogma, and I played it with him some online. I don't dislike the game, I just, you know, I don't know what else happened. I like World of Warcraft, I like Diablo, like there's the games that I like, and one common ground that we always had was like those Neverwinter games. We just had a good time playing together. And so when I saw that Neverwinter 3 came out, I thought to myself, interesting. Okay, so as soon as she stops, I gotta drop these totems. This is where things could get dicey. I think it's gonna be in this clearing here. Yeah, at the, it says Protect Kaya at the... How long does this last? 1 minute. Okay, so I can go ahead and start laying the groundwork. Run. She's doing okay. It's actually myself that needs some help. Yeah, she's actually doing okay. Just stomping. Yeah, so she's actually doing okay. Her life is alright. That healing stream totem is... It is what it is. I do have yeah, it looks like she's been chopping him down. Alright, I think we did it. Because once you do it, then she runs off. Oh gosh.
I have business to attend to.
Didn't realize we had another mercenary over there that she was gonna get all zesty about. Thank you for helping me. I know my way back from here. Great, I gotta go kill a few more brutes. We did it, so... Honestly, that was odd, and I wonder if it was all the totems, but she didn't aggro anything. They weren't really attacking her at all. They were coming after me and my totems, which is cool, which is fine. It's fine, it's fine. No biggie. Yeah, it actually worked out pretty well. Alright, so we're just gonna kill 2 more brutes. don't really... I mean, we gotta kill the loggers, but they're up there. I think maybe what we should do is, after this, we'll make a walk over to this camp. And that will probably be after we... After this. That'll be a good stop point, I think, rather than getting into any other big quests. So we'll wrap this one up. Then we'll touch base with him next time. But that's pretty cool. I didn't really notice, honestly. I didn't notice any serious healing. I saw it out there. I guess it probably helped. But I wasn't impressed, bro. It does say it only heals 5... Oh. How much is it? It heals group members within 30 yards for 6. So that's why it just freaking heals you 6. Maybe, I guess, as time goes on, that will be better. But 6 life? What the freak? Maybe with some talents or something? Like, what do we have? I don't know. Yeah, increases the effect by 5%. Maybe if we get some higher ranks of it, it'll be a little bit better. Yeah. And I guess 25, that would, I'm guessing, eventually build up to 25%, but I don't think. 25% of 6 is 1.5, so we heal 7 damage, round it up to 8. We heal 8 instead. Wow. So for 1 minute, that every 2 seconds, that's 30 ticks. So it heals 130, yeah, so it would heal, at this point, over the course of its 1 minute, it would heal 180 life. That's nothing. Now, I guess the only benefit is it heals everybody. So if you had a party of 5, 180 times 5 is 900. So now for 40 mana, you're healing 900 life, hypothetically. And it's basically giving you a hot, although it is a stationary hot. So, I'm not impressed. Hopefully it gets more powerful. And maybe it already is available. Maybe there's actually upgrades to it already ready to go when I go back at level 24. And so maybe there's that. Because it did say, like, hey, go check your trainer. There could be some upgrades waiting for you. And we know one of those is the poison cleansing totem. But that takes the place of our healing. So it's like, what do you want? Poison cleansing or healing? I guess I'd rather poison cleansing. Honestly, if there was something that was really just poison all the time. I actually don't think we're even gonna, I think we'll just check in here because that's not a safe place if I recall. That's that little goblin hut, and it's not exactly a non-hostile zone. And we'd have to pass by some of these other things. Like the spider eggs, why not bust that, and arachnophobia, which that's actually easy. I think we'll be able to solo that. You do have to fight an elite at the end, but nothing too crazy. I'll give it a try, even though we'll be level 23. Give it the old college try. Oh, we have 2 quests to turn into. Isn't that nifty? Unfortunately, we're not going to get rested XP for this, but we already have a pretty good amount. We're already a little bit on the bar.
What brings you here?
Alright, so let's do killing Grundig first.
Grundig Darkcloud is dead.
There is.
Adventurer, I will always be grateful for what you've done here today.
Thank you.
Kaya is alive. Adventurer, I have you to thank for rescuing her.
Thanks.
Tell Tamara Winfield, Kaya's aunt who's at Sunrock Retreat, about the good news. Kaya is alive. We had thought she was lost after the brutal attack on our village. Follow the path to the west to get to Sunrock Retreat.
And I like this because it gives you, you know, you do a couple quests, you get a breadcrumb to the next quest. So we have Sunrock Retreat over here, which is the little main Horde camp. It's very small. And we'll just kind of work our way up. And up here, that's the Alliance camp. So really, there's just not a ton. This is the main questing zone for Horde and Alliance, as we've seen with Third Girl. But okay, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope my rambling was somewhat entertaining. I hope you learned a little bit of the lore and found that entertaining too. But we got another episode in the pipe, 5x5. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time on Lore of Warcraft.